Hey guys, welcome to FBG. Today we're gonna take a look at the second half of every single Warhammer 40k faction explained by Bricky. Just a little thing, if you got answers to my questions, just put them in the comments, and if you see something you think I should know, just give it a little upvote. I pass through the comments and will get my information from there. Thank you, and without further ado, let's go.
Now, if you want to talk about faith, though,
Yes.
let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
Ooh.
A simp has fallen for an eagle in Lego City.
The Sisters of Battle of the Adeptus Sororitas, if that's how I pronounce it correctly, is an all-female group of battle sisters going through the ecclesiarchy section of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church, which is scary. And it is. Ooh. The sisters are an extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent.
So those are super radical Omega nuns? The kind of elite nuns with arms, you know? All those weapons, looks and also his legs are pretty good.
At taking out chaos and heretics, mainly heretics, because as they are a fighting section of the ecclesiarchy church, that's the big thing they want to kill.
Yeah, heretics bag.
Heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those three main weapons: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice. Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space. And I'm talking hardcore nuns. They carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ missile launcher.
What?
They have small babies that they have removed their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit. They drop churches from low orbit as mini drop pods.
So, wait, what? So real babies are those heretics, or is it an honor to become one of those mechanical cubic fusions? That's so weird. I mean, it's a great idea, but wow, that's hardcore.
Onto battles. They drop churches into battles, and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield.
That's insane.
These are the people you are dealing.
Flying with the ship above the people and blasting their dubstep off on them. That's kind of... I can get behind that vibe.
And they're fucking awesome. They can literally stave off demons.
Oh, that's a wall
on the tabletop because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp?
Yes, I remember.
The warp also manifests in your mind. All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things. So if you are that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, not a crack in that mental armor. Now, as much as a meme as they are, and as much as their models look a lot like Ongo, yeah, which I can't unsee anymore. I gotta say,
that's amazing.
I love their design. I think they're.
But why exactly are they a meme? I didn't get it from there, but I don't know. I love that. Fighting the demons off with their sick beliefs. That's crazy. That's so crazy. And again, those paint jobs are so great, so detailed. That's insane how detailed they are. This carrier thing with the eagle, the two-headed eagle up on it, that's looking sick.
Extremely cool. They're another army that I'm currently collecting. They just released a whole new line of figures very recently, and they look wonderful. Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying saint, from the triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession as a model. Those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery.
It looks, and some of them look like Valkyries, so I guess that maybe some inspiration was taken from nuns, other from Valkyries, and everything put together. I guess it's an insane combo, and it looks really badass. I don't know. There are some funny parts to it, of course, but that stuff looks so badass. Those girls look crazy. I have no idea. That's
a lot of the Warhammer universe, and goddamn it, is it over the top. But Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart, this is such a cool faction. By Bolter Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. And
there it is.
Speaking of burning demons,
I can see
the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition. The Grey Knights are a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that crazy space magic magician shit.
Like the Emperor.
For every 100,000 guardsmen, there's one Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high.
Their armor reminds me a lot of those Pacific Rim robots, you know? Maybe that's a kind of a silly thing to say, but it reminds me a lot of those, especially the shape of their armor, you know? It reminds me a lot of that.
High-level psychers, all of them able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons. The Emperor believed that the demons of chaos were the #1 threat to the Imperium, and he probably is right.
Yeah, makes
However,
sense.
this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon, of Titan in the Sol system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be. Since the demons of the warp are the warp and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp in the presence of demons and stay perfectly sane. One of their characters, one of my favorite characters, is named...
So this is the elite guard of the elite guards. So Space Marines, everything like that, they have nothing against them. They are basically the chosen ones, besides maybe the sons of, you know, of the Emperor. But those look like the super elite force. And they're split as leaders of the army, they're commanders maybe. I don't know, but if there's only one for every 1,000 or 10,000, that's insane. They must be so strong. Let's see.
Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama. And he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power. Use my strength. Suck my penis. Whatever the possibility.
Okay,
he has to keep it on him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently, and he has to stave it off forever, being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield.
So that might be from the legends of myths. There are stuff like the first blade, you know, the Cain and Abel thing, where this blade is calling out to people. It was used in multiple series and stories and stuff like that. And I think there are some other weapons always calling out, betraying their master and asking for the next one. So the strongest person has to hold this weapon because no one other can deal with it. So he must be like the strongest of the strong. If we come from this angle, that's pretty cool. I always like this kind of story with the weapon corrupting everybody and being held back.
Because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that Grey Knights have a scorched earth policy, more ways than one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy.
So they kill other people.
And I'm fighting demons, and the Grey Knights arrive, and they kill all the demons.
Oh.
I'm a risk. And so, guess who's not making it out of there? On the tabletop, they're very strike fast, strike hard kind of people. They teleport all around the place. They are fast.
So the policy is, if you see a Grey Knight, run. If there are demons anywhere near you, run. Don't be there. Be away when they arrive. Got it. Noted.
Strike groups, small amounts of models because they're so dang strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there, you're very tough, very tanky, you hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so every dead Grey Knight hits really damn hard. They're fun, though, if you like that kind of fast-striking kind of army. Oh, and also, Kaldor Drago is a thing. We're not even going to get into Kaldor Drago. All right, that is, oh my goodness gracious. I am the hammer. I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time. Grey Knights are pretty hard.
I think I get it. If you put them into contrast with a fantasy world, those are paladins, right? Those are psychics, so magic. They're super elite force, only a few. Those must be the paladins of the sci-fi Warhammer 40k part, I think. I hope I'm right. Could be totally wrong, but that sounded a lot like a paladin creed.
Hardcore. They are as holy as you can get for a Space Marine. If you like Space Marines and you want to, think they're holy enough, you want to be holier, Grey Knights. Now, if you want to be holier and big, let's talk Imperial Knights.
Oh, Lord, he coming!
Do you like gigantic walkers the size of homes or medium-sized buildings? Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old-school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaws?
They look insane.
You got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old school like house feel to them. Like literally like they're houses. Each Imperial Knight comes from a house, and each of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers also destroy almost everything in their path, killing full swaths of squads.
That video looks cool.
Stepping on legions of troops. Like, these things do not mess around. And they look so cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or Chaos God you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project, too.
Yeah, it looks like it. Wait a second. Are those, I don't think he said it, are those meant by people or a person, or are those fully automated? Just walkers, you know? Or are is there a pilot in there? I didn't got it. Or maybe a brain implanted into a robot, you know? I mean, it's the Imperium of Man, could be. There are crazier things out there.
Let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold.
Gold.
If guardsmen are regular soldiers, Space Marines are super soldiers, Grey Knights are super soldiers, the Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the third major army I own.
Okay, maybe those are the paladins.
3 armies. I know, I got carried away, okay, but that's all. I only have 3, okay? They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these ones are super special. Okay, if a guardsman is 6 foot, a space marine is 7 feet.
You know, the helmets remind me of a very old movie called The Coneheads. Yeah, those helmets look very funny to me.
Custodian is 8 feet. These
Not
are
a heretic,
the
by the way.
giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra. Themselves.
Terra.
These are the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room. Hence, custodians.
The person on
These
the
boys
right
protect
looks
the
crazy.
Emperor's throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all handcrafted super soldiers. I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand still, spear in hand, for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord, are they terrifying. These custodians...
So they might be the personal guard of the Emperor, kinda? You know, like in fantasy worlds, a personal guard right there from the king or stuff like that.
Put Space Marines to shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men can take on probably 3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also one of my personal favorite, the Aquilian Shield. The Aquilian Shield go out to seemingly unimportant individuals and protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day or something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them. But that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. The custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready. Always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The custodians are the top dogs of the Imperium, and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here, because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun, but they don't get enough attention.
Fancy hair.
Kind of bald plume ladies are a whole group of pariahs, or also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know, killed or something at a very young age, because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it, all of them taking a vow of silence as they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature.
Makes a lot of sense.
But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the custodians because they have to deal with both kinds of threats, but they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate.
That's kind of sad.
Because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the lore, but hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
We will get into that really fast, but my question is, because his video now, I think, is a little older, so did they get more? Are there more now, or is it still, like he said, only one model, not really represented? Stuff like that? It would be interesting to know.
My precious power ring, gone forever.
It's been a long video. We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The Assassins,
already?
the Officio Assassinorum. Oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be, but oh man, these people will mess you up. So these are
okay,
from the
I'm all for it.
Assassinorum, a very special organization, and they are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum from the what was it called? Schola Progenium. It's basically an orphan school. Your parents got murdered by demons or something. You get sent to this and you get trained to be whatever. Tempestus Drop Troop, an Inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples, because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things. These temples are the Vindicare, Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks. Poof! The Vindicare temple is the main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot, time is done, packs them up. The Calidus temple, however, is a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant art.
Wait, what? Deviant art? Okay, bro, chill. No, but that sounds really cool. And it's like most of the 40k stuff I learned about. It's, you know, you have something that is known in a lot of fantasy and sci-fi kind of things, and you take it to the next level, the next 10 levels more or less, because it's just, no, this person can sit here for the whole day waiting for the target. No, he sits here for weeks, months. That's insane. It's every time you think, okay, I think I know where this is going. No, it is 10 times, 20 times that. It's just crazy to see.
It's mostly a female-based one, or at least it seems to be. And this allows a lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years, to infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up, just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed. Or become the main target and sabotage it from within.
Wait, what?
These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between. And lots of drawings.
Oh god.
Eversor Temple. Just kind of disturbing.
Guys, chill.
The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. And Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho conditioning, I guess is the term. And then they pump you full of tons of...
What did I say like 1 minute ago? Every time taking it to the next or the 10 next levels. Same here. Insane. That lore is just, you know, you take it and turn it up a notch, turn it up. No, you go right there to the max.
Psychedelic drugs, and they cryo freeze you. and then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town.
So you just unleash psychopaths.
You don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause, send them in. Finally, there's the most bizarre temple, the Caluxus Temple. The Caluxus assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They're seen with extreme fear and distrust among many, many people. They're described by the Eldar, by quote, as being pure evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned, and then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker, oh no, the sheer presence of a Caluxus assassin is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you. The motto of that temple is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicator, and if you have a lot of Psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2. The Inquisition.
But honestly, I think from what I heard so far, maybe I'm totally wrong on that, but the tabletop is cool and everything. I love the statues, the paint jobs, everything around that. But it is basically impossible for a tabletop game to harness all that lore and put it in the game without it being completely broken. At least it is. From where I sit and where I see it, it seems that way. The lore is just completely out of hand, completely wacky, broken, whatever. You can't put it in a game without making it unplayable, basically. So there have to be rules or cut stuff down to make it a little bit more fair. No, maybe not fair, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. I hope they do a lot more with the lore, especially make more games. Because I think in single-player games especially, you can let it flow a lot more than a tabletop game against another player. If you're just playing against an NPC or stuff like that, it's a lot easier to give you those completely broken powers and let you go wild with it. A game I had in mind for that was, what was it called? God damn it. I forgot about it. Shit. Never mind. Let's continue. Maybe get back to it.
We have a lot to talk about with them.
Well, on the subject of heresy!
Oh boy.
Okay.
Where do I even begin with the Inquisition? Take every secret police you can think of. The KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of these kinds of people. And then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what? How about this? This right here. It's not just a quote.
I love the head.
This is the imperial motto. The motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
There it is.
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their #1 motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition...
Yeah, you are innocent. Who cares? You are guilty. Shut up, or I kill you. That sounds fair, you know? Very fair.
Goes around like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos, the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious, they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what...
All the inspiration from medieval and those different mythological times and all this stuff. It looks so cool. The Van Helsing style had witch hunters, I think. It was a witch hunter outfit. I think that's it. And putting that all together in sci-fi aesthetic is just... I had never seen stuff like this before. I think that makes Warhammer 40k, for me at least, very unique and special. You know? A lot more interesting than basic stuff. Yeah.
They're trying to go for as
and that's just
Inquisitor. And that's what they're called.
Humans.
Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish. They may have a ship and a crew.
Looks cool.
And they go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot.
Well, though.
They are above the law in every department over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors. They are looking to investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like Gene Stealers or a new threat coming into an area. They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they spend a lot of time being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet is demon-infested, and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet, as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocence proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety. Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now, it is memed a lot, but most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus. Exterminatus is a very crazy thing.
Just throw them out. Like
worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them. Now, naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option.
Want to know more about that?
And it's a crazy option when you think about it. Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well. And personally, they need a lot more stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put in.
Hope they will get it.
Quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that intrigue and that moral dilemma that an Inquisitor has makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grim darkness. And wow, we just finished the humans. All right, come back for part 2 when we talk about Chaos and Xenos. because
Let's
we got
see more.
to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods and all the Chaos Marine Legions and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs.
Okay,
Oh
yes.
boy, we got a lot.
Yes,
I'll
show
see
me.
you in part 2.
That was insanity and a lot. But if you liked it, give it a sub, give it a like, and let's go to the afterthoughts. I loved it. It was great. It showed me so many more parts, so many more factions within only the Empire of Man. There's still the humans. That is the craziest thing to me. We are still at the basic humans you usually see in a sci-fi, and it takes you, 2 minutes to explain, yeah, those are humans, those are in space, they are very far evolved, they can fly now with warp speed, and that's it. Maybe a little more detail here and there, but all those factions, all the depth, Warhammer 40k has just so much more, and I really love what they did with basically humanity. They gave it so many twists, so much difference. Everything looks fantastic. It's not just one pale blob of that is humanity. We have all come to an agreement to live in peace together, and that is why we could figure out travel through the warp, and now we are flying around in our clean spaceships. And everything is just nice, and we fight against the aliens. That's lame. All this depth Warhammer 40k has is just insane to me. It is a cool concept. The sisters with their crazy beliefs, then those mechanical fanatics with the Omnissiah, then those, those strong knights, the Space Marines with their crazy suits and strength, and the superhumans made out of glass, basically, in a laboratory. It's insanity. It always tops and tops and tops. First you think Space Marines are the highest tier, then the Grey Knights, then that, and it always goes crazier. Those assassins were... I never seen anything like that before. Yes, the first thing with the sniper rifles, okay, you've seen something like that. Maybe Ghosts from Starcraft, not really. The Ghosts are more of a mix of different things here, but still, it is nothing like anything I have ever seen before. It's, I have to think about it more. It's just, I'm talking and talking and talking, and we're getting nowhere. It's just my first impressions. Those are my thoughts. I have to think a little bit more about it. Maybe I can say some smarter things then. It is what it is. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. And if you do, then I see you in the next one. Bye.